to Arts Alive. This week we're at the Brink on Park Street for the launch of Festival 31, Liverpool celebration of art and culture from refugee communities. And I'm with Karen Wynn. Hello.
Hello, nice to see you.
Yeah, you are the coordinator of the festival. Can you tell us a little bit how it started?
Yeah, the festival started last year. I've worked on and off for years with an organisation called Solar Arts, who are refugee arts and community arts specialists. And last year, they've been thinking for years about having a festival of refugee arts and culture that was more than just one event here. Last year was the first year. This year we've kind of grown a little bit bigger and hopefully a lot better. Last year was amazing. We had loads and loads of activity. So we're just trying now to make it part of the annual calendar of festivals here in Liverpool.
Great. And what can we expect from it? I mean, there's art, there's culture, there's music, plenty of things.
Yeah, we've got all kinds of stuff. So there's been a few different strands of the festival. We've had art competitions for young people, children and young people. We've commissioned 8 local artists, which is a really exciting part of this year's festival. We did an open call for artists of all kinds of genres, and we've commissioned 8 people to work together. Some from non-refugee local backgrounds, some refugee local backgrounds, some people who are still within the asylum system and waiting, but all of whom are professional practicing artists. So that's been great, and they're working together to create lots of stuff for the festival. And then the kind of final strand is all of the activities. So we've got the launch today, and then starting from tomorrow, we've got 31 days of artistic and creative activity. Some of it is social, just sort of bringing people together over food and workshops. We've got film nights, we've got exhibitions. I'm just going to have a little look at this. There's so much going on. We've got drumming circles, flash mobs that are going to kind of pop up across the city. Some of the artists' work will kind of appear and disappear around the city across the month. Loads of workshops. We're working with lots and lots of local partners, so we're getting involved with things like Loving Lodge Lane, which is an existing festival. There's just too much really for me to kind of go into, but we have got, we have a whole month's worth of activities here in the calendar now. There's actually more stuff being added all the time.
Mm-hmm. So lately we've been talking a lot about the refugees with what's been happening in the Mediterranean. It's been the Refugee Week as well, and to raise awareness about, what's going on. With Festival 31, you're showing another aspect, you're showing art and how people are getting back with their life as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there is the current political side, which makes it a lot more, kind of salient and important at the moment. I mean, Solar Arts and Festival 31 has always been about refugee arts and culture, and we are also about the political side. So we do the lovely stuff, bringing people together, eating, enjoying music, creating things together. But actually, the kind of more serious side of the festival is raising awareness of the refugee experience. So not so much getting really political, but again, it's once we learn more about each other that we start to understand and be a little bit less wary of people who are different from us. And like I say, obviously, as you say, with a lot of the horrific things happening actually in the Mediterranean at the moment, I suppose the festival just fits well into that kind of role about bringing people's awareness up a little bit. It's not an accident that we start on the same day as Refugee Week nationally, so we're working with Refugee Week, and that's very much about recognising the contribution that refugees make to the UK in all kinds of ways. Now for us it's about promoting refugee artists, helping them to maybe start to re-establish themselves here. That whole kind of all of the issues will be part of the festival. Some of the events are a bit more political. We've got a night that's going to happen at the Casa, which talks about Kurdistan in Syria and the problems at the moment with ISIS. We'll be looking at all of those different kinds of issues.
There are plenty of associations in Liverpool who are trying to help, in Liverpool and Merseyside, who are trying to help refugee communities. I'm thinking of this Refugee Action Liverpool, for instance. There's the Family Refugee Support. What can people who are at home do if they want to help and support?
What we'd always say, like you say, there are loads of organisations. We would always say just get in touch with a local organisation. There are places where you can drop off your old second-hand clothes. Instead of taking them to the charity shop, you can donate them directly to centres where people are able to go and get clothes. Equally with things like food. you can volunteer. There's all kinds. The Family Refugee Support Project you mentioned do work with horticulture and gardening as a way of healing people. There are groups that do bicycle repair, maintenance, and little bike lotteries so that people can get transport. So yeah, there's a massive range of things that people can get involved with. What I would probably say is to look up City of Sanctuary Liverpool, which is a group. Again, we are part of that group as Festival 31. They're a group that are really working very hard to kind of raise awareness across and outside those organisations. They will always be able to tell you what you can do to help. And like I say, there's all kinds of things.
Well, thank you very much, Karen. I'm going to go and have a look at the artists.
Brilliant.
And maybe meet some of them. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we'll introduce you. Thanks very much,
you.
Gail.
Jonathan Raisin, you are a composer and a writer, you're an artist,
yes,
and you've done this boat behind us. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, I should say that the boat itself was made by Ehsan Vaziri, who I've been collaborating with. The project is, as you know, about the refugee experience, and we just spent a long time talking about ideas, trying to find a theme that would work. We talked about journeys, about escape, trying to find places of freedom. And we came up with, we'll make a boat, and we'll make it out of recycled material, which is something that Ehsan practices. And it contains a sound piece, so I've written some words and music that imagine leaving the city that you love in a very small and not very safe boat.
Yeah. Okay, so that means that people can just come around and go into the boat?
Yes. It's as you can see, it's not quite a full-size boat, but it's very lovely to sit in it, and it just rocks very gently. And yeah, you just listen yourself to a piece of music and words on the headphones.
Yeah. And so the boat is not going to stay here, though? You're going to move it after? Or?
Yes, we're looking for places to put it. It's going to have a week in St Luke's, the bombed-out church, at the end of the festival. So from July the 8th, it'll be in there, Wednesdays to Sundays. And there'll be a few other little outings like this over the next few weeks. Hoping to have a day at Newsham Bandstand, but that's not a confirmed date yet, I'm afraid.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much. I'm now with Ehsan Vaziri. You are one of the artists who made this boat. Can you tell us how you've worked on it?
Yeah, actually, I just through my friends just noticed that this festival that they want to do this like commissions for refugee weeks, and because I'm asylum, so it was a good opportunity to just join them, and I'd like to work with you, and I'm very happy to do this and talk about my experience and work with other artists.
And so, why did you want to do a boat in particular? I mean,
it was not only my decision. Actually, I made a little boat because boat is a kind of feel of journey, feel of moving and going to other new places. But actually, the other people, this man that I'm aboard with him, we thought that boat is a good idea, and to do with sound system and give the good feel, the thing that we wanted to talk about. Yeah.
How did you work on it exactly? Which kind of product did you use?
Actually, it's good to tell about, because one of the ideas that we had, it was to work with recycling things, recycling materials. So we just found some pallets, and even I used the nails from those pallets, but again I used some screws as well. But yeah, it's just recycling with recycling. It helped us to show more rustic and more real this boat. So I'm so happy that I used this. It's not fancy boat. It's like lots of people they have this difficult journey with not very safe like boats or any other things that they move. But it's again amazing for them. It could change their life.
When did you arrive in the UK?
I'm about 3 years. 3 years in UK, and so 3 years ago I left my country. Yeah, but yeah, I met lots of new people. I'm happy. I'm not sad from my situation. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm now with Sarah Nicholson, who's an artist. Can you tell us a little bit what do you do and why did you decide to take part in this festival?
Yep, certainly. I'm a installation and temporary intervention based artist. I'm from Liverpool, and I saw the commission based on immigration, emigration, place, home, the sense of belonging and moving around the world, and that ties in very strongly with the sort of work that I do. So I applied, and I was very happy to be selected.
So what kind of work do we have here?
Right, in front of you we've got some of the, it's like an incidental work that I wound up doing, which are little bound objects. So for example, it's just a coffee cup, but it's something that symbolises a sense of place and a sense of home, a sense of belonging. And I asked there's 8 artists involved obviously in total, and I asked them all to suggest something to me that was evocative in that sense. And so we've got Jonathan Raisin's pipe, which he decided should be bound in green, so I've had a lot of fun trying to get this green thread to actually stay around it. And obviously the idea of binding is to do with protecting, preserving, keeping safe and memorialising almost, but in an ephemeral manner.
Great. Is the work exhibited here at the Brink, or where is it?
Right. The larger scale work that I've done working with Rania and Nehru's, that isn't exhibited here. That's going to be exhibited in several windows around the city and possibly suspended in other locations too. It's a large-scale Mappamundi, which is obviously a map based on legend and storytelling rather than observation. So they've told me their stories of Syria, and I've drawn a large map on tracing paper, which is why it can go in windows. And that's being further embellished by Rania's architectural drawings of her memories of different important locations in Syria. And that's all going to come together, hopefully very, very soon, like in the next 24 hours, and be installed somewhere.
Okay, great. Well, we're looking forward to that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now with Tayo Aluko, you are a singer
and actor.
Singer and actor. You've been chosen to select the artwork that has been commissioned here. Tell us a little bit, how did you choose it?
Well, I was one of 3 panelists from the local community. One was a broadcaster, another was a lady who works in News from Nowhere, and she's also a bit of an actor, writer herself, and that was me. And from what I understood, a lot of people from the refugee community were invited to put in proposals for the exhibition of their artwork to highlight their lives and life as refugees. And it ranged from music to fine art to fashion and some sculpture. It was an interesting process and quite a difficult one to select, from quite a diverse group of art. Basically, we just discussed whether it really highlighted life as a refugee in a positive way, whether it could actually teach people here in Merseyside about where they've come from and their journeys, whether the stories were interesting, and also whether it could help actually bring a lot of people awareness about refugee issues. And some really good ones could not be chosen for various reasons. We made the decisions and we stick by them.
And why did you decide to take part in this festival in particular? I mean, you were invited, but why?
Yes, I was invited. I just received an email asking if I could be involved. It took me a little while to really pay attention to it, but when I realized that it was something that could inspire people. One hears about people seeking asylum and, seeking refuge in various parts of the world, and you don't really pay that much attention. But I know as an artist myself that through art you can inspire and educate people. And I definitely thought that it was something that I would like to be involved in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.